And one last thing I want to share with you when you're kind of done with your scene creation, one of the real powerful things about digital is the ability to edit. So, for instance, with this one of the things I was kind of noticing as I was illustrating it is I didn't really like the thickness of the girl's neck from her back. So, the way her hair is folded in and the disappearance of the line here really shows how incorrect this whole area is. You can see the width from the neckline to the back is just way too wide. Even the positioning of the neck is kind of weird. Now, I could just say that, hey, that's my vision and this is my style, or I could fix it. So, what I want to show you is that one of the neat things about digital is that if you go to like an area like this, you notice I can't draw on it. It's giving me like a little no smoking symbol. But at the same time, one of the powerful things about the way Clip Studio handles its groups and layers is I can edit all of this at once. Now, the reason this is important is because we already applied a little bit of a filter, that blur I spoke about. So it's not a big deal. I could just go back to the original layer, make the edits, reapply the blur. But if you've introduced a few other maybe effects and different things that you've done, you can actually work off the group and you can still select areas of this line work. So let's take, you got to kind of be strategic about this, but I'm going to take this area here and I'm going to go to about, actually I'm going to crop all this area right here. Now I could cut and paste this, or I can just hit Command Shift T. It's going to give me the ability to select and move and also distort. And I could just pull this back a little bit. So it's kind of like skewing a font or something. You're just stretching it back. You can play around with the Bezier handles and move stuff around. Now, obviously, it'd probably look a little bit better if I not only push this information back, but I change the connection point under the jaw. It just looks weird that there's a line going right up under the jaw there. So I'm not going to make a dramatic change, but I just want to show you how you could do this. Now, to implement new lines, like I just pointed out, you can't draw right there. So you do have to go back to the main copy there. And you're not going to want to use the one that's toned back. So I'm going to actually just go ahead and merge these together, Command E. And I'm going to just kind of connect the dots. Now again, if I wanted this to be entirely correct, I would do this on the beginning layer, before I merged it, and add my blur and everything like that. But I'm to the end of the work, so I just want to kind of, go ahead and finish this off. But again, that's really the power of digital, is that you can just make edits wherever you need to, and you're never really backed into a corner. There's really just lots of ways that you can fix this work and keep on moving forward. Let's get some of this cleaned up here. And I also don't like the back line, so I'm going to move that as well. So I'm just going to erase that back with the translucent brush. Try to fix that. Remember to kind of draw through. Imagine where her neck would really be. So if you went from the back of the head, the back of the neck, her back would probably be, that was a pretty skinny neck, probably be somewhere over here. And I think the curve too is what was throwing the design off. So let me go back to here and change the curve. So a little bit of a more of a sharper angle here, or a sharper curve, and then we'll connect the chair back. Now by doing this, we also expose a little bit more of the other character's leg. So we'll get that in there. And we have to imagine that we're probably going to see some of that seat. So let's do this. Let's move this line over to here. Again, always draw through your work to kind of figure out where you're at. And I think it'll just make sense to shade this back. So we'll put a shadow. And just some little rendering lines. And let's pan back and see if that makes sense. Yeah, and I think that's a little bit better. So again, I just want to show you there's lots of ways to think about editing, and the fact that you can select your line work and you can manipulate it. Now you can manipulate it with the transform. You can cut and paste it and transform it, which makes it a little bit easier. And then also you have mesh transformation. Now, I don't use this one as much, but I at least want to show it to you. So for instance, say you wanted to grab this arm area and you wanted to modify this in some way. You can go to Edit, Transform, Mesh Transformation. You can actually control the amount of Bezier handles by these little points over here. And then you can maneuver parts of this illustration around. So for me, the one I just showed you is highly effective for what I do, but this can also probably serve some purposes, so play around with that. But again, just remember, with digital art, there's so many ways to edit that you can truly just keep adjusting it till you get it right. So hopefully these lessons are beneficial to you. I've got some more practice activities we'll be heading over to next. So let's stop here and head over to the next lesson.